Happy Thursday! You've made it almost through another whole unit of math. I know this is going really fast. So like I said before, if you want to work on it in a small group or just one-on-one, all you have to do is let me know and we can hop on a time together and work through a workbook page or just a strategy that you want to really master. I'm totally up for that, okay? Today we are looking at 11-4. And we're actually going to fit in a couple of lessons, and I'll just chat with you for a minute about what else comes next in this unit, okay? So 11-4 is subtracting using mental math. And this is handy for those of you who have super great math brains who can think about the numbers that are closest that will help you to do quick math in your head without even having to write down these numbers. So let's take a peek at one of these. I had one in mind and now I have to find it again. Well, get yourself together here. Okay, well, let's just look at the example on page 655. So 655 is a lesson 11-4. It's subtract using mental math. And let me read to you what it says. Amy and Jorge enter their pumpkins in the giant pumpkin contest. Amy's pumpkin weighs 335 pounds and Jorge's pumpkin weighs 302 pounds. How many more pounds does Amy's pumpkin weigh? Show how you can use mental math to solve. Okay, so Amy's is 335 pounds. These are whopping big pumpkins, by the way. If you grow pumpkins, you'll know that these, you guys know about how much you weigh. These are ginormous pumpkins. This is like when they bring them to the fair and they enter the heaviest squash type, well, some of you know better than me, contest. They always have like a heavy pumpkin. 335 pounds is a significant pumpkin. Amy's pumpkin is 335. Jorge's pumpkin is 302. So 302 is very close to what number? Just so we can do some mental math. 302 is close to 300, right? That would be the easiest way for my brain to think about that number. 300, okay? So if I were to use mental math with this, I would take that 335 number and I would subtract about 300. Okay, that would give me 35, right? And then I had kind of changed that 302 to 300, so those two extras are what I now need to subtract. And that would give me 33. Sound about right? 33 pounds? So if you wanted to check that math and make sure that it was correct, you could always add those numbers together. You could add the 302 and, what did I say? 33 together and see if you come up with 335. So hopefully I said the numbers correctly because now I'm looking in my book and I'm not even sure what I just said to you. So check my math, okay? That's how you would do that mental math piece. Now, you're in second grade. Some of you are still working on math fluency with your math facts. So mental math isn't something that you should be spending a whole lot of time on until after you have mastered those skills. So once you get super good at like the game that I had you do yesterday, that orange page where you were adding and subtracting quickly, when you get really good at those things, then you can play around a little more with mental math. And as adults, you're going to do it all the time. So if you're one of those people going, am I ever going to use this? The answer is yes, you will. Because when you go to the store and somebody gives you $5 to spend, and you see some items that you would like, you know you need to be around $5, but you can't go over $5 or you're going to have to put something back, right? So this is where that mental math will come in handy. All right, so in this unit, 11-4, in this lesson, you are going to work on some of these problems on your own. But notice what it says. Look at the guided practice and look at the independent practice. Look at these words. This is what it says. Use any strategy. It says show your work. So really mental math, you have to at least be able to show a little bit like where you're coming from, where you're getting your answers. You can't just scribble in an answer. And none of you should be using a calculator for this work. You really need to try to show how you're getting these numbers. So y'all have your favorite way to be able to add and subtract those numbers. But if you look ahead, okay, so don't start working yet. Look ahead and go to 11-5. So now I'm on page 661. This lesson is showing you how to put those numbers vertically to be able to add and subtract. And there is regrouping. So don't get stuck, right? Remember that you have to also regroup. When you are subtracting, it means you go to the next column over to be able to take one from the tens if you're using it in the ones, take one from the hundreds if you're using it in the tens, and you can see how to stack your numbers and use the boxes above to be able to help you come up with the answer. All right, so let's take a peek at one of those, because this might be a little more challenging for you, but I know you're gonna like it and you're gonna say, Mrs. Bailey, this is so much easier than doing the open number line. And I'm going to say, you're right. But it's a strategy. So let's go to the guided practice part, which is on page 662. And I'm gonna write one of these up here on the board. How about number 3? The 546 minus 271. All right, let me write it up there. Check me to make sure I don't have any errors, because I sometimes copy numbers not the right way. All right, I'm gonna write this number up, 546. Minus 271. All right, ladies and gentlemen, some of you have worked ahead. I know that, and the time that it took for me to get to my chair, up to the board and write this, you probably have already started this, and you may even finish with it, but just watch me do it anyway and check your work. So, we're gonna subtract first in the ones column, and notice they have the boxes above. That's for you. So we don't get too confused. It's helping you organize, okay? You have to start over in the ones when we're subtracting. 6, take away 1. Is there more on the top or more on the floor? More on the top? No need to stop. 6 take away 1 is 5. Now I'll go to the tens column. I have 4 take away 7. More on the top or more on the floor? There's more on the floor. Go next door. So I'm going to go next door and take, that's right. So in order to do that, I have to cross out these numbers. This is where I'm going to put a new number up in the box. The 4 is going to become a 14 because I'm taking a 10 from over here. And this number is going to go down 1 because I've just taken 1 away from it, okay? So my numbers in the boxes are 14 and 4. Now, let's see if we can subtract. 14 take away 7 is, that's a doubles fact. 4 take away 2 is 2. So the answer now is 275, okay? What do you think? Is that an easier way to subtract 3-digit numbers? Maybe you think it is. Okay, so that's lesson 10-5, and you're going to play around with that a little bit. I don't think they'll take you too long, especially as you become automatic in your facts. Excuse me, 11-6 and 11-7 are really just more practice. So, moms and dads, if the kids are doing awesome with this part, and they've gotten this far in the lesson, and you just want to provide a little bit of extra practice, feel free to dabble in 11-6 and 11-7. But otherwise, we are going to say that we are done with this lesson, and we are going to be moving on next week. Check in with me if you want a little extra help, and keep practicing those skills.